Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are working on Leafeon. This is going to be the fifth installment in my Eveelution Fashion series. We're just trekking right along with this series. So Leafeon is of course a grass type Pokemon. And so I thought it would be really interesting to make the character into a gardener. So of course I went with really earth-toned colors, and I put her in a gardener's outfit, sort of. I just kind of put the things in that I would imagine her wearing if her entire job was gardening. So I gave her a tank top because of course it's hot, and I gave her a scarf in case she, was working in a dusty area or something, and I gave her a little apron with pockets, and I gave her capris because I just, again with it being hot, because when you garden usually it's either spring or summer. When I went to decide on her skin tone, I was like, okay, well, if she's gardening all the time, obviously she's going to be tan. You kind of can't not get tan when you're out in the sun, even if you wear sunscreen. So I did one of my darker skin tones with her, and I do like the way the skin tone turned out. Her left hand is all sorts of messed up. Well, actually, technically it is her right hand if it's her hand, but it's the hand on the left holding the pot. But I couldn't figure out how to make that work correctly, and when I was sketching it out, I didn't have reference with me, so that's what we get, is a slightly uncomfortable looking hand. So I did have the Leafeon image pulled up on my computer while I colored this, and I tried to bring in a lot of the colors, so the greens and the yellows and everything, and I just really like the way this turned out. I laid a base green on the shirt and then did a lot of the shadows in my E53, and then I came in with my E50 to kind of blend it all together, and I thought that looked really nice, and it kind of gave the idea that she's been working all day and the shirt's a little dirty. So I just incorporated as many browns into the image as I could. I think I actually used every single brown color I had in this, and then when I got to her hair, I tried to do it like her ears are in real life. Not in real life, but as a Pokemon, where the tips are green and it fades into that sort of cream yellow color that the body is. I also incorporated that into the bandana around her neck. So I sort of messed up on the apron. I did a color swatch off to the side, and for some reason I thought that the color that I laid down first, the E37, was the darker color, and actually the E09 ended up being sort of like a darker color. And I just felt really silly when I spent all that time doing all the details with the E37, and then I went to go color them in with the E09, and I was like, that's really dark. But I hadn't colored too much of it, so I was able to quickly sort of switch it by coloring over where I'd already colored with the E37, and then I came in with the E37 and I blended it. So I'm not sure exactly why, but the green that I used for the tips of her hair and in the bandana on the recording look like neon green, and they're not neon colors. I mean, they're pretty bright, but they're not neon in real life, so I'm kind of confused why they look like that. For the hat, I did hash marks on the hat. I did a green, and then I did a brown, and then I went in with my warm 3 and just did that for the shading, because I didn't want to blend in all of the hash marks I had just put in. So I went in to color the dirt. I didn't want it to be just one color of brown. Dirt is a mixture of all different kinds of stuff, so I really wanted to incorporate that, and so I really took all of my darker browns and just did little spots until the space was filled up. And when I went to color the plants, again, I didn't want them to just be one color, so I actually used 3 different shades of green to create the shadows and kind of give the idea that the plant was growing, and the parts closer to the root were greener, a darker green, and I really like the way that the plants turned out in this. When it came time to do the background, I wanted something that would contrast with the browns and the greens, and I thought that purple would be a great color. So I came in with this, I believe it's V09, and I really think that it turned out really well. I just did an abstract shape in the background. I wanted it to be a little bit different, and I really like the way that it turned out. So much for watching this video. Our next Eveelution is going to be Leafeon, so I look forward to seeing you guys in that video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.